Good evening. No, good evening, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. What a day it's been today here at our headquarters. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you're coming on, please do me a quick favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know that your boy Ramonepreston and the Ramonepreston Show and my squad, we're live. The phones are ringing. Things are just happening today. It's one of those days where we have a lot going on, but I'm super excited to have an opportunity to jump on this live and to share some information with you today. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, and put in the comments what city you're watching me from. I love to know what city you're watching me from. Every day we get people from different cities who, states and countries even, that watch the show, and I really appreciate all of you for taking the time out to let us know where you're watching us from. I see we have someone from Detroit, Palmdale, California, Irvine, California, seeing another one too, Palmdale. I think that might be the same person, I'm not sure, but I just want to say thank you for joining the show today. Thank you for continuing to support the Ramonepreston Show, and thank you for just supporting everything that we do. We share a lot of information with our community because we want to help our community properly start, structure, and scale their businesses, ministries, income streams, and wealth building dreams. This is an amazing time in history for entrepreneurs, for those of you that are breadwinners, and just for people in general who want to take their lives to the next level, especially if you're willing to make the commitment, get the right information, put effort behind that information, and be consistent over periods of time. You can see positive, impactful results. So welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. Just in case you don't know, now you know. I'm your host, Ramonepreston. Every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I come here on this show like today. And it was a busy day for me this morning. It's still busy, and I still wanted to drag myself into this studio so that I can join you for a few minutes and talk to you about some principles of the 1%. Now, if you've been following me for the past couple weeks, I've been talking about the 1%. I've been talking about the 1%. And just in case you're not aware of what the 1% represents or who the 1% represents, I have a diagram that I use. This is a diagram that I teach with. This is a diagram that I have on one of my courses on Ramonepreston University. It's a part of my Millionaire Blueprint program, and I teach on the income ladder of success because I want my people to have a mindset and a skill set. So once you get the mindset, you could get the skill set. The mindset should be that of the 1%, meaning that you got to figure out, what do I need to believe? How do I need to behave? What habits do I need to develop? What mindset do I need to adopt in order to get to the 1%? So out of 100% of households in America, 1% of the households they make $400,000 or more a year. 70% of households in America are considered middle class. They make anywhere from $32,000 shy of $400,000, and then 29% of households in America are considered the poor class. Okay. Now, the reason why this is important is because most of the information that you get about business, most of the information you get about money, most of the information you get about producing, about investing, about doing anything positive, most of the information that you get is definitely coming from probably the middle class. Now, if you grew up like me, I grew up in a community. I'm a 70s baby. My grandmother was raising me. My parents were addicted to drugs. So I was exposed to all that crazy stuff at a very young age. I found myself living that same life all of my teenage years. And what happened was, all of the information, at least 99% of the information that I got about life, about relationships, about business, about money, about legacy, about the future, 99% of the information that I got growing up came from the poor class. And so most of us, if we came from the poor class, we think we winning just because we make it to the middle class. Like, for example, I know people who were raised middle class. They had two parents in the household, or maybe had a parent that did good. And the mentality that they have, especially when it comes to business and finances and careers and legacy and success, to some extent is worse than the poor class. Because at least when you poor, you ain't got nothing. And that's why so many people that start out here, they end up here because we get hungry, we get thirsty. And when we get some good information and we realize, wow, it was hard living poor. It was hard being on drugs. It was hard running the streets. It was hard going in and out of jail. It was hard living in poverty, growing up in the hood. But you realize that it's hard to get up here, but the hard to get to the green ain't no harder than the hard living in the red. And so this is a very vulnerable spot, the middle class. And so your goal should be, how do I get to the 1%? How do I learn, educate, figure out a way to put myself in the best position to make at least $400,000 a year? And so today I want to talk to you about some principles. I actually talked about this last night. Every Monday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern, I host a weekly coaching call, and it's a Zoom call. So every Monday, 7:00 p.m., I go live. My team comes with me, and we give our mentees, people who are in our 1-year coaching program. It's called the Millionaire Mentorship Program. We give all of our mentees an opportunity to come on the live. We do a deep dive. I teach on certain principles, certain concepts. I teach on business, finance, investing, real estate, sales, marketing, systems, processes, holding companies. Whatever it is that I know is very important for that week is what we center our coaching call on. And then we give our mentees an opportunity to ask questions. We have a Q&A, we get takeaways, and it gives our mentees, our coaching clients, an opportunity to check in every week. Because see, the thing about getting to that 1%, the thing about success, the thing about becoming a 1%er, for a lack of a better word, is you got to be consistent with your commitment, and you got to stay around people who have an environment that really holds you accountable and keeps pushing you. Otherwise, you're going to give up, you're going to gas out. Because listen, all you got to do is the math. In order to make $400,000 a year, you got to make about $33,000 a month. Okay? In order to make $33,000 a month, you got to make a little over $8,000 a week. And guess what? It ain't easy making $8 grand a week, $33,000 a month, $400 grand a year. That ain't easy. And if or when you ever do it, being able to do it one time and then keep repeating it every week, every month, every year, it's going to require a lot of education, a lot of skill. It's going to require a lot of accountability, and it's going to require a lot of support from people who are continuing to repeat it as well. That's one of the main motivators that I have to stay in the 1% and to continue to grow up that income ladder, because I put myself around people who are at the top of that income ladder. I'm grateful to have mentors and people that I pay a lot of money to be around who are at the top of that income ladder. And so they always push me and my colleagues to climb that ladder, because they not gonna make it comfortable for us. But think about it. If I was in the 1%, if I'm somewhere close to a millionaire or wherever, and I'm listening to people in the red and in the yellow, it ain't gonna be long before I start going down, because I'm gonna start making sense of what people in that category have already made sense of. So what are some principles? What are some principles of the 1%? I'm gonna give you a couple, and hopefully these principles can really help you and resonate with you. So the first principle, a principle is a consistent truth. A principle is a consistent truth. So what that means is these are consistent truths that people who are already making money live by. These are consistent truths that people who make money live by. So one of the first principles that I want to share with you of the 1% is you have to give up something to get to everything. This is actually a principle that it's not a principle. It was something one of my mentors said and I stole it. So I thought I would use it as a principle because it's something that I've heard one of my mentors say a couple times. Might say it in a couple different ways, but I've heard something and everything, and I heard enough to take it. Okay, so principle number one, you have to give up something. This is something in order to get to everything. Now, here's what I want to explain and translate for you. Okay, something. What is something? That wherever you at right now. So you might not have everything right now. Okay, so let's say if you want to get to the 1%. Let's say if you want to make a minimum of $400,000 a year. Let's say this is where you want to be. You want to be right here. Okay, that's your minimum. All right, but right now you are probably making 30 grand a year, or whatever, 40 grand a year. In order for you to get to everything, your everything may be the 400K a year to get to the 1%. But in order for you to get to everything, you got to give up something. So you might be thinking, well, what am I going to give up? I ain't got no money. Okay, well, you can't give up money. I ain't got no credit. Okay, well, you can't give up credit. But here's something you do have. You got time. I got time today, dog. You got time. So you could give up time. You got the same 24 hours. But now if you're using all your time every 24 hours to goof off on social media, to talk to people who way down here who ain't going nowhere, to keep, like criticizing and complaining about the way life is and how bad it is and how hard you got it and how nobody don't want to support you and ain't nobody buying your products and services if you a business owner. If you want to stay down here in that low level of thinking, not just of money, of thinking, then you're never giving up the something to get to everything. So if you want to get from point A to point B, let me make it even easier for you to understand. You got to be willing to give up point A. I know a lot of people who are always talking about, well, I want to go to the next level. I want to be a millionaire. I know I'm destined to be great. I know I'm supposed to be doing big things. Yeah, but you ain't willing to give up where you at. Some people not even willing to give up where they live at to get somewhere else where what they're doing can actually work. Don't you know you could be living in an area, you could be in a space, in a geographic location that just don't work for the business that you want, for the type of work that you do, for the type of things that you want to pursue, and you got to go somewhere. It's kind of like back in the days. There was a time when people who wanted to become actors and public figures and celebrities, they knew they had to go to Hollywood, right? They had to go to California. So it don't matter where they lived at, what did they do? They packed their bags and they moved to California. If people were in the tech space and they wanted to become, technology people and engineers and coders, they had to pack their bags and go to Silicon Valley. So what I'm showing you is you got to be willing to give up the something you're holding on to if you want to get to the everything that you don't have right now. I've had to make that decision. 20 years ago, I made a decision that I was going to leave South Florida. I was going to move to Atlanta, Georgia, because number one, I believe that's where God wanted me to be. But number two, outside of that, I believed I was going to have more opportunities to go into a thriving city that was growing, that had a lot of people that looked like me, that were doing big things. And I just knew it would be a good fit for somebody like me who was entrepreneurial, who was open to explore. I was ready to go on a great journey and I wanted to move into the future. So I moved hundreds of miles from South Florida to Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't have no friends here other than my wife and a few of her family members. But at the time, I didn't know people personally. I ain't have no relationships with nobody. I ain't have no connections. I didn't know the who's who. Wasn't nobody co-signing for me to do what I wanted to do. I had to come up here, pull up my sleeves, pull up my bootstraps, and I had to take what I knew I had as an entrepreneur, as a go-getter, and I had to make it work. And 20 years later, I have built a successful business, an organization. I planted a church. I got nonprofits. I got programs and projects, prison ministries, nursing home ministries, and I've had all types of ministries and business opportunities within the last 20 years, and I'm in the green. So guess what? It goes to show when you're willing to give up something, you can end up getting to everything. And I'm going to show you something. Where I'm at right now, I'm repeating that process even where I'm at right now, because I want to make it to the top of that green. So guess what I got to be willing to do? Give up something to get to everything. So again, if you already have a business that's making money and you kind of making the little things happen, your something may be to give up some money that you're holding on to. You might have to invest more in your marketing. You might have to invest more in your systems and in your processes and your infrastructure so you can hire some people and bring some people on. You got to make that investment. And there's going to always be a delta, meaning that when you're at something right here and you want to get to everything right here. Wow. Let me make it again. If you're here at something and you want to get to everything, there's going to be a delta in between. So if you're trying to grow your business, if you're trying to expand your imprint, if you want to get known and exposed, I'm going through some of these same things right now. So it don't matter what level you on, you're going to always see yourself repeating some of these things. So now if it's money that I get to give up, I got to give it up. I got to give up to something here so I can get to everything over here. And I got to be willing to do that. And that's a principle of the 1%. Because that's what a lot of people are willing to do. Principle number two. This is a 1% principle. Principle number 2 is about investing. This is what your goal should be. Your goal should be to invest. Invest, not save or spend. And this is like out of the playbook of a couple of the mentors that I have followed, I've supported, I've gleaned from, I've read their books, and this is like a very common 1%er principle. People up here in this 1%, they know how to invest. They're not thinking about saving money and spending money. As a matter of fact, I heard one of my mentors say, saving money is just as worse as spending money because you ain't really using your money. So you got to get to a point to where when you're able to make money, and most people who are not willing to invest money, they typically are people who spend a whole lot of money or maybe save a whole lot of money, but they're not willing to invest a whole lot of money in themselves, invest in their businesses. Like it should be like almost a crime. You should get a ticket. Like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you run a business and you own a business and you out here telling people, oh, I'm a business owner, I got my own business, I'm an entrepreneur. If you got the audacity to tell people that, but you ain't willing to invest in your own mind, you ain't willing to invest in no education, no training, no coaching, no mentorship, let me tell you something. That should be like a crime where you get a ticket. You should be ticketed for that because it's just wrong. I know this to be true, especially me coming out of ministry where I've seen a lot of people in ministry, they preach and they pastor churches and they lead without having the proper coach or mentor or leadership or training, and it can be detrimental to people in our community. Well, it's the same way with business owners and entrepreneurs, because when I meet an entrepreneur or a business owner who doesn't invest heavily in themselves, in their education, in coaching, in mentorship, I know this entrepreneur probably doesn't have the level of success that they should have in their business. And most of the time they ain't got no level of success. They shady, they probably working a job, paying for their business through their job because they can't afford to do their business full time. And they trying to, like swindle their way through entrepreneurship. It don't work like that. You got to invest And of course, yes, you're going to save. Yes, you're going to spend money. You got to spend money to make money sometimes. And you have to save money so you can have reserves. But at the same time, you got to be investing that money. You got to put that money back into things that are going to pay you. Here's another principle of the 1%. How you live is how you lead. Okay? This is the principle. How you live is how you lead. Like you need to really take a good look at how do you respond to problems when they show up. You know, what is your conversation about? How do you need to record yourself sometime when you're talking to people to see how do I sound when I'm talking to people? Am I a complainer? Because I hate complaining. I hate talking with people who always complaining. It's draining to hear people just always complain, and everything they say is always negative. It's always the bad side. Look at the bright side. Because see, I don't want to live in my problems. I do not want to live in the things that I have to go through. I want to live in the solution. I want to live in the potential of what life can be and will be when I come out of what I'm going through. Because if I'm able to live in positive mindsets, if I'm able to live in optimism, if I'm able to live in the solution, most likely I will be able to lead with the solution. You get what I'm saying? So you got to learn to live so that you can learn to lead. So it's like if you have a conversation with somebody and the first thing you talking about is your problems, you're leading with that problem because you live in the problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I talk to you and you positive, you optimistic, you see the brighter side, you know better days are coming, you see a breakthrough, you know your business is going to grow, you know you finna get the bag and you going to crush it in 2022 before this year ends. If you lead with that kind of mentality and attitude, it's because you live in that. Because you ain't gonna lead with that when you get around other people if you don't live with it. And this goes for you as a business owner. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you gotta lead with what you live with. You ain't gonna be able to not lead with what you live with. So if you live with the problem, live with the pessimism, live with the negative feelings and emotions, and you always think somebody coming against you and nobody don't want to help you and you a victim and you got it bad and it never works for you and that somebody else always gets it. You living in that, you gonna lead with that. And even if I'm living in it because I can't change it right now, in my mind I ain't gotta live in it. I don't have to live in it in my mind. I don't care what I'm going through in my circumstance or situation. I don't have to live in that mentally, because if I live in it, I'm going to lead with it. That's a principle. Okay? Principle number 4. Everything on this planet is basically like made up. Think about it. It's all made up. You're the creator of, and I'm not talking about the God kind of stuff. Okay? Let's get that correct. So when I say everything on this planet is made up, I ain't talking about trees, even though God made it. You know, God made this. So he thought it, he spoke it, and he created it. That's what I believe. But I'm talking about like businesses, technology, clothes. These are things that people made up. I heard another guy the other day say, everything that we do in business and in life is based on a thought. I heard this guy say, and I was like, wow, that's powerful what he was saying, because his point is you have to make up these thoughts. These thoughts are made up. When you have a thought, it's your job to take that thought. All right. So you go from thought, then your thought, it may form to some extent. You know, a thought is some type of idea, right? But just for this conversation, you go from thought, you have a thought, you have an idea, you make up something in your mind. You got to turn that thought into some type of product and service in your mind. It has to be something that you can think of, and then you take it to the market. So when you know things are made up, A lot of entrepreneurs, they get stuck right here in thought. They never get past thought. Man, I want to do this. I want to sell that. I'm working on this. I'm still working on that. Man, I be talking to people in 2022 that told me in 2018 they was building a website. Like literally, I've talked to people who told me in 2018, 4 years ago, I'm working on my website. I'm putting this website together. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. And then if I talk to them in 2022, guess what they still doing? They still in thought land. Thought land ain't paying your bills. Thought land ain't getting you up that ladder. Thought land ain't changing the quality of your life. And it really ain't helping nobody else. So you got to get out of thought. You got to turn thought into product and service. And then when you figure out, wow, what can this be? You go to the market and let the market let you know if they're willing to purchase your thought, right? It's made up. And a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck on there. What should I charge people? How much does this need to be? What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? Listen, just do it and figure it out. We are all figuring it out as we go. Yes, we have certain levels of competency, but the courage and the confidence, which is my last principle of the 1% is the key to your success and your security is your courage and your confidence in yourself. You got to have courage. You got to have courage and you got to have confidence. You got to have courage and confidence in yourself. In yourself. And why do I need courage and confidence in myself? Number one, you need courage and confidence in yourself to create opportunities and to make money. And this is one of the reasons why most entrepreneurs, they won't use any money they get on themselves and their business. This is why entrepreneurs stay stuck. This is why most people stay stuck in this middle class right here and at the bottom, because they don't have the courage. What do you mean courage? Courage is basically the ability to do something even if you're fearful, even if you're uncertain, even if you ain't 100% sure. It's a lot of things people up here do that they have the courage to do, but not the competence. They ain't even got the competence to do it. They ain't even built for it, but they got courage to try it, to see if they can do it. It's like watching somebody go to a stage and stand on the stage and sing, and you know they auditioning for, America's Got Talent, or they're auditioning for whatever those reality shows are, right? And they're singing and they can't even sing, but they got the courage to do it. So you need competency. You should be educated and trained and prepared, but you need courage. You need courage. You got to be willing to step out and do it. There's some things that you want to get done. And in your mind, you start making sense of, well, I'm going to just wait to 2023. I'm already hearing people say that. That's one of the things that really get on my nerves when I hear people say that. Oh, 2023, it's going to be my year. I'm hearing people say that already. 2023 gonna be my year. I'm gonna crush it this year. This next year gonna be my year. Why the rest of this year can't? If 2023 gonna be your year, why you can't crush it for the next few weeks? If you gonna make it happen in 2023 and you gonna push the reset button and you going all in, why you can't go all in today? Why you can't remain consistent and committed for the rest of this year? Because you're just trying to trick yourself into thinking something is going to happen at a future time when your future is right now. You got to have courage and you need confidence. You need the boldness in yourself to be able to create opportunities. Now, people who lack this confidence and courage in themselves to create opportunities and to make money, all you have to do is begin to educate yourself and learn how to create opportunities. Like, let me give you some examples. One way you can create opportunities is helping other people who are already doing stuff. helping other business owners, providing a service and bringing value to people. Like a lot of you entrepreneurs, you got great ideas, but you don't share your ideas with social media. Oh, I forgot. You scared to get in front of a camera. You ain't got the courage to get your behind in front of a phone and run your mouth. Listen, you need to stop worrying about what you think about you and even what other people think about you. And you need to be focusing on getting up that ladder. And so you need to get the courage and the confidence to create opportunities, and you need to develop more skill sets on how do I create opportunities. I got to talk with people. I got to meet with people. I got to communicate with people. I got to show up for people. I got to continue to show up. I got to gain trust with people. I got to establish credibility. I got to become more consistent. I got to bring value and continue to bring value. And over time, I developed the courage and confidence to create opportunities. But then I got to learn how to sell stuff. I got to learn how to give presentations. I got to learn how to package my products and my services so that people can buy them. I got to learn how to build relationships and do business with people so I can actually make money. And when you do these things, guess what's going to happen? You will inevitably, what that means is you will, over the course of time, start climbing up that income ladder. I guarantee you will start climbing up that income ladder if you take what I'm saying to you and you apply it. Now, one of the good things is if you do not have access to the right education, the education to start a business, the education to build your systems, the education to work on becoming better at sales and marketing, and the education to learn financial systems and operational systems so that you can start developing your products and services and taking them to the market. I have programs that help you with all of those phases of your business building. As a matter of fact, I have a 1-year mentorship coaching program. It's called the Millionaire Mentorship Program. It's a 1-year mentorship coaching program. My team and I, we take 1 year to work with you. And here is what we do. We start you out with an initial one-on-one coaching session. So we take about an hour or so, we sit down with you and we look at the whole spectrum of your personal life, your professional life, your financial life. We look to see, what do you want to accomplish in the next year? How much money do you want to make? And then we identify with what is the best business structure for you. Do you need a holding company? Do you have a LLC? Do you have 3 LLCs? Do you need to restructure them and reorganize them so they can make sense? Do you need a legacy company? We look at your brand identity. We see how you are positioned as the brand ambassador. We look at your products and your services to see if they're put together right, if they're packaged right, if they're priced right. We look at your systems and your processes to see, do you have a sales and marketing system and process? Do you have a financial system and process? Do you have an operational system and process so that you can bring on team members when it's time to do so? And do you know what you're doing within that operation? And then we put a game plan together for that year. And once we put that game plan together, we onboard you to our Millionaire Blueprint. It's our online training program. So we want to start educating you on all these things we put together in your game plan. That's the purpose. So for example, if one of your pain points is organizational structure, you need more structure, you need to learn systems and processes, then when we onboard you to our online program, we're going to make sure that's one of the first courses you start taking so you can learn how to become a better organizational leader and be better at running the day-to-day operations of your business through systems and processes. We also give you access to our weekly coaching calls. So every Monday, you have an opportunity to join me and my team live and other entrepreneurs and mentees so that you can stay accountable and stay consistent. We give you access to our Millionaire Concierge. We have concierge that you can text, you can email, you can call. They're going to text, email, and call you on a regular basis. It could be a day-to-day basis if you need that level of support. We also give you quarterly workshops. We host 1-day workshops every quarter to deep dive into the nuts and bolts of sales and marketing and financials and operations so that by the time you get to the end of this 1 year in this mentorship program, you should have properly started, structured, and should be in the process of preparing to scale whatever business it is that you've put together. So I would love to share more information with you about our 1 year mentorship program. I'm very adamant, I'm very passionate about helping you get successful so that you can make it to the 1%, because I'm telling you, when you hit that green, your life ain't gonna never be the same, and you ain't gonna never want to go back down into that yellow or red once you hit that green. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me about anything that we've covered today, or anything relating to your business and your finances, or you just need to get more information from me and my team, feel free to text the word millionaire. Text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. Text the word millionaire. When you text that word millionaire, we're going to reach back out to you momentarily, and we'll just take a few minutes to talk to you over the phone to see where you are, what exactly are you looking to do. We'll answer any questions you have, and we can point you to the programs that we have available that could really help you. Of course, I would love for you to be a part of my 1 year mentorship program, but we have online courses that you can take. Our whole program is our Millionaire Blueprint. It comes with all of our courses all in one, but we also have single courses just for financials, just for systems and processes, or for holding companies, whatever it is that seems to be the biggest pain point in your business or in your life. So I look forward to hearing from you. I appreciate you joining me today on the show. Put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from these principles that I just shared with you of the 1%. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, on the Ramonepreston